Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into Lovely Writer. We're diving into episode 11. It is the penultimate episode, which means after this we only have one episode left. And it's kind of sad because it's been such a good series. I've kind of slowed down a little bit these last couple episodes just because I kind of just want to savor it. But, you know, eventually we got to get here, so that's what we're doing. I believe that I have 4 episodes left of Manner of Death, and then this I only have 2 episodes left, but I think I'm going to do the same thing I've done with the last 2 episodes, reactions to this series, where I just reacted to 2 parts in one reaction, just because, again, the editing is getting so much more difficult, and the episode lengths are getting so much longer, so it's like I have to cut out even more, and I'm like, I don't know. I can't manage to cut out that much of the episode. So this reaction will be to parts 1 and 2, and then the next reaction will be to parts 3 and 4. So I should have 4 more reactions to Lovely Writer, 4 more reactions to Manner of Death, and then we'll be all done. And then I'll dive into the series that I mentioned in my channel update video for April 2022. Yeah, so we're gonna just dive in and find out what happens. From what I remember in the last episode, well, bisexual icon Tiffy finally believed Tom when he was telling her that, hey, I like you. I don't know why it took her so long. Like, she was convinced he was gay, and I was like, you know what, that very well may be. He may be into the men, that could be, but just because, I mean, you're bisexual, I've been calling you bisexual icon Tiffy all this time, so why can't he also be a bisexual icon? Just because, you know, he likes to taste in the forbidden fruit, potentially, which, you know, coincidentally was my name in high school. But just because potentially he might have liked some, doesn't mean that he can't also like you girls. So I'm glad that we finally cleared that up and she believed him, so they can be cute together. And then Sib and Jean were off, not really vacationing, because Sib is recording a series or commercial or some ads or something somewhere at this beach location, and he's like, I need Jean to come with me. So they were off frolicking in the sunset, having a good old time, and then it looks like some paparazzi person with a camera, just some passerby, was taking pictures while they were frolicking in the sun and posting it to the interwebs, and now all hell's about to break loose. So we're gonna dive in and see. I'm gonna pause it because I got too many feelings, and I don't want to forget things by the time I get to Topher's thoughts. Lord, I have very mixed emotions about that whole live that just took place, because as it went on, I could see where his intent was, or what his intent was, I think. I feel like he was going on to, you know, address off the obvious elephants in the room online, and to, you know, hopefully put some things to rest, and, you know, hopefully get the fandoms to calm the fuck down. But also, in the end, I think his primary goal was not necessarily to get people to feel sorry for him or to get them to feel bad for him. That might have been to a certain degree, but especially there towards the end where he's begging, you know, please don't forget about, you know, Oi Sib, or whatever hashtag it was, you know, please don't, you know, please continue to support me the same way, blah blah blah. We've known for the longest time he is a very complicated character. He's a very complex character. He's got a lot of hurt and damage and baggage that is unresolved. Lots of things that are unresolved that needs a lot of working through, and I don't think he's working through it with anybody. He's just been in it all alone, keeping it bottled up inside himself, dealing with it, fighting, blah 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 blah. So, but at the end of the day, he's very lonely. He's very lonely, very very lonely, and we saw glimpses of it earlier on in the season where it's one of the reasons he was clinging so hard to this, you know, ship with Sib is because the fans were embracing it, and he liked that embrace. He liked having people, even if there are people who absolutely know absolutely nothing about him, don't care about him from Adam, don't know a damn thing, and if it weren't for the fact that he was acting in this series, wouldn't give a damn about him. But there's all of these people out there who have this vested interest in him, and they care and they support. Doing all this loosely in quotes because, again, some of these fandoms are toxic as fuck. And it's not just BL series and actors, and that goes with music fandoms too and all this kind of stuff. I see a lot of things as a reactor. Don't get me started on that tirade. But there are all these fans and people who care so much about him, and he just wants that reassurance. He wants that. He likes to know that there are people out there who care about him. Because he's had this feeling of just emptiness and loneliness for so long that he craves to have that validation from complete strangers who he'll never see, never meet a day in his life. But he craves that validation of, okay, there are actually people who care about me. I'm not an awful person. I'm a good person, and there are people who care about me and who love me. So he's sitting here at the end begging, like, please don't stop. Just because this is happening, they're having whatever moments together, whether they're in a relationship, it's none of my business. Who am I to meddle? Which, again, we should have had those talks with ourselves 6 or so episodes ago, and we could have avoided a lot of heartache. But like, still, it's like, it's none of my business, what's going on with them, but regardless of what's happening with them, just please don't stop supporting. Please don't stop supporting me. Please don't stop supporting me. These are words he said. Don't stop supporting me. Because he craves that validation. He craves that comfort. He craves that, he wants love. The boy wants love. He is lonely and he wants love. That's like me stripping it down to its bare essentials. There's a lot more complicatedness surrounding his character, but if we strip it down to its bare essentials, he is lonely, he is hurt, and he wants love. So that was kind of the driving force, I feel like, behind him going live. Now, the other part of me is the part of me who is rational and like, you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Like, yes, these feelings might be real, and this breakdown might be real, and all this kind of stuff, and everything that you're saying to the people might be true and honest and whatnot, but you know exactly what you're doing. You're not stupid. You're not stupid. And I've had this conversation so many times because there are some of my best friends in the world who, for whatever reason, they get into whatever arguments or they have whatever spats with their significant other, their husband, wife, boyfriend, whatever it may be, and they just take to Facebook. They take to the internet and they just vent all of their dirty laundry for everybody in the world to see. And I'm like, girl, keep your personal business offline. Like, not saying that you've got to keep things a secret and whatnot, but what happens between you and your wife or you and your husband in the privacy of your own home is your business. It's not the whole world's business. Keep your goddamn business off the internet. If you don't want people getting in your business, keep your business off the goddamn internet. So that whole him just going live struck an immediate chord with me there, because I've had this conversation so many times that it's like, he knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he very well could have just like put out a tweet or just not addressed it all, left it alone and blah, blah, blah. But him choosing to go live like this, and then again, it's one thing if he was going to go live and just put on, the same blank, fake smile for the camera persona that he's put on in public throughout the entire series. That'd be one thing. He's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry, guys, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that he chose to go on camera and like, oh, everything's fine. Cry. Everything's fine, guys. It's fine. I swear, everything's fine. Nothing's wrong in the least. And just like, it's like, girl, you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. You know that you are... It's attention seeking. It's attention seeking. And again, it goes back to the fact that he wants his validation and he wants this confirmation of love and blah, 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 blah. Like, I get it. I've said it a million times throughout this series. There's a lot of things he does that explains things he does. It doesn't excuse him. So I'm not excusing the damn thing he did, because the whole going live thing, it's still just one of my pet peeves. It irritates me. So he knew exactly what he was doing, because This whole thing could have been handled in a different way. It could have been addressed in a different way, but he chose to go about it this way, and then to do this whole breakdown. Oh, I'm fine, I swear. Everything's fine, guys, I swear, it's fine. If they're having moments together, then, you know, it's totally fine. We're, all three of us are on great terms. Great terms! Like, girl. You know exactly what the fuck you're doing. So, that irritates me in a sense. But yes. Thoughts I was having. Didn't want to forget them by the time we got to Topher's thoughts. Back to the episode.
งั้นเราไปแล้วกันกูรีบไป
Or do you just have your notifications off? Because I'm sure you've been tagged like a dozen million times. What was that moment? Lord. Okay, so I've already touched on Oi and his whole live thing, so I won't reiterate that, but those feelings are still pretty much the same. And then, yeah, things just started to explode from everyone involved in this production. I'm like, y'all need to calm the fuck down. Y'all need to calm down. Like, I get it, like, from like a PR standpoint, and you know, we're trying to maintain appearances so we can have sales, and you know, this will be a successful product, blah 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 blah. I get it, we want things to be smooth sailing, but Lord, like, I don't know why anyone's relationship should dictate the success of this series that's already out, I'm pretty sure at this point. Like, but again, it's commentary, it's analysis on the BL world and just some of the toxic fandom that takes place. And like I said, it's not even just the BL world. As a reactor, I've encountered some of these toxic fans in BL series, in music reactions. They anywhere that there can be a fandom, there can be a toxic fandom. And this specifically, you know, shipping people so hard together that they're not allowed to live any sort of personal life outside of this show, it is ridiculous. Like, I get it, you fall in love with these characters on screen. I've watched so many series in the last year since I started reacting to BL series on this channel, and I've watched so many ships, so many side ships that are just like the most adorable thing, and I love seeing them together. I love seeing their chemistry. But at the end of the day, I understand that they're actors being paid to do a job. Yes, they're doing a convincing job, and yes, for some of them, maybe that chemistry is real, and for some of them, maybe they do, you know, continue on after the series into being some sort of romantic, you know, item, and that's great. That is fantastic. I'm glad that they were able to find a significant other through, you know, the means of doing what they love, acting. But just because characters are so convincing on screen does not automatically mean that they have to be together in real life. It doesn't entitle the fan base to dictate their life. It doesn't entitle people outside to be able to dictate what they should and shouldn't do, because, like, at the end of the day, again, they're actors. Like, I wouldn't go to like the movies and watch, I don't fucking know, what's the movie that's out? I don't know. Spider-Man. That came out at some point in the last couple of years, right? There was a Spider-Man movie, but I wouldn't go watch Spider-Man and say, okay, well, clearly since, well, that might be a bad example because I think Tom Holland and Zendaya did date at some point, maybe, I don't know, but whatever. Like, I wouldn't say that they have to be together in order for my life to be okay, in order for the Spider-Man movies to be a success. No, like, I wouldn't go to any other movie and say, oh, they played a couple, so they have to be together in real life, and I have to see them happy at all moments in real life. Otherwise, I'm not gonna go watch this movie. I'm not gonna go support this franchise. Like, no, that's stupid. It's stupid and ridiculous. But there are a lot, especially in the BL world, a lot of those fans who are like, they feel too entitled to these actors. They feel too entitled to these ships, and they're like, hey, you know what? I think this is the most adorable ship in the world, and they need to be together forever. And anyone who says differently is crazy, and we're going to crucify them. No, you're not allowed to be seen with anybody else. How dare you already be married before even, acting in the series? How dare you have a wife or a husband or whatever, blah, 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 and cheat on your scene partner here? And I'm like, y'all, they are fucking actors. Like, as a performer, I've done a number of romantic scenes. I've done a lot of scenes on stage, and like, yes, the chemistry might be there, chemistry might not be there, but it's our job. We're hired to play these roles, and we play these roles. They are characters that we're playing. They are not our everyday life. If I was supposed to be matched up with every person that I did some sort of romantic scene with, like, Lord, I mean, I already have like 800 husbands, but they don't know I exist. But like, I would have like 17 others on top of them, because it's like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. They're characters. They're characters. Y'all need to chill the fuck out. Chill out, y'all. They're characters. So this is very much like, I want to say it's eye-opening commentary, but at the same time, there are a lot of people who, this is them. This is their reality, and they don't see it that way. They don't see what they're doing as a bad thing. So they might not look at this series and be like, oh, we're ruining people's lives. We're ruining people's relationships. We're tearing them apart, making them not want to be involved in acting or anything anymore. They, those toxic fans may not see it this way. They may just, see it as, oh, well, this series is just trying to bash on us, blah, 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 boo, 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 or, whatever. So, sometimes people are too close to the situation, they get butthurt, and they don't actually reflect on what's being presented. So I would like to think that this is an eye-opening, depiction of what it is like sometimes to be involved in these series and be involved in this world, but not everybody is going to see it that way. But yeah, so everybody involved, whether it was the agents that were in charge, so Tom and Tiffy, and then Tiffy was getting all upset at Tom because she already had trust issues with Tom for whatever reason, and we had past conversations with them where, she even made mention how, sometimes other managers are so vindictive and whatnot. They just try to, get you and your client to, mess up so then they can be the, successful one. And, it wasn't like that with Tom and Tiffy. It was just nice and cordial, and she was very, very thankful. And then she had whatever trust issues when he's like, oh, I like you. And she's like, why? What game are you playing? And now this is just kind of feeding a little bit more into those negative thoughts she already had in the back of her head. And it's like, oh man, why you gotta go fuck up their relationship? I've been rooting for them since episode one, literally since episode one, and like, damn it. And then, Bua's getting it from the top down, and Tom's sister is also getting chewed out from, executives above her. And it's like, why are so many people this invested in two guys' relationship? Like, yes, again, I understand that we're trying to sell this illusion of this ship for the sake of this series, but at the end of the day, they're actors. I don't know why we have such a hard time understanding that they are actors and they have lives. They are just performers. They are just doing their job. And yes, their job is to look, cutesy wootsy and cuddly on camera. Whatever they do off camera, it's nice. I'm sure it helps to sell, books or DVDs or whatever, posters, whatever merchandise y'all are selling. But like, y'all, if they're not a real item, eventually they're not gonna be seen together. Because like, yes, I get it, right now the show is going and we're, ratings are high and we're trying to, keep the ball rolling, but like, unless y'all plan on keeping this series going indefinitely, eventually the series is gonna stop, and eventually this ship is gonna stop. And if they continue their acting career, then they will just be in another series with someone else and start a different ship. Like, hell, I first met Z, maybe future Topher will insert a picture here if I remember, reacting to Why Are You? And so, Z Saint, that was my ship, but now like he's in Cutie Pie with another actor, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And Saint's been in other series with other actors, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. because they're actors. Like, yes, they were very, very cute in Why Are You, and I loved watching them. Trust me, I love watching them. But like, I understand that this is just a job, and while they have very convincing chemistry and they're very, very enticing to watch, they're just doing their job, and then they're moving on to the next gig, and then act with whoever else is next. So it's like, again, it's just their job. So like with Oi and Sib, like if the series was not going to go on indefinitely, which it's not going to, because every series has to end at some point, they would just move on and be in another ship with somebody else. So like, a couple months later, this would have been old news. Nobody's gonna care about this. So like, I don't understand why we are so invested in these people's lives like this. It just don't make no sense to me. I hate it. But yeah. And then we saw how Heen is just, again, one of the best people in the world, because we've known how hard he's been working on this novel that he's writing, and we've had conversations about reasons behind, because he wants to be successful in this market so he can make money to take care of his family. That has been his end goal. He wants the BL market is hot right now, and he's trying to hop on that train and make money so he can take care of his family. So he has been busting his ass. What is his actual job? I don't remember. I don't know. Like, I know that, like, when he first popped up in the series, I just assumed he was Jean's friend who Bua's like, oh, keep an eye on him, or blah blah blah. Hey, can you get him to go to the set so we can take pictures? Blah 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 blah. But like, I didn't think that that was like his job to like be Jean's handler. And if that is the case, Lord, that's some fucked up shit. But like, he's been doing all this stuff, all this under the pretense that, okay, Bua's finally gonna let me write this story. I'm gonna write this story, and I'm gonna make this money for my family, and we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be set. So he's been working towards this goal this entire time, and he's willing to let that go because he does not want to see his friend hurt. He does not want to see his friend give up what he's basically been working for this entire series thus far, and now he's finally found this bit of happiness. He's finally found this comfort in himself. He's finally found the confidence in himself to be with Sib, and like, he doesn't want to see him give any of that up. He doesn't want to have any part in breaking that up or messing that up for him. So it's like, you know what? Rather than doing what Bua told me to come here and do and figure out what I need to do, I would rather just put this aside. It's fine. And you could see the conflict in him, and then the conversation with his mom, just, oh God, such a good mama. Because again, at the end of the day, you don't want to see your kids hurting. You don't want to see them struggling, being sad, anything like that. So she's like, look, I understand what you've been doing for us, but at the end of the day, you've got to look at you first, and like, you've done your best. We are so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I love you so much, and you've done your best. Sometimes that is just life. We will figure things out. We will work things out. I know you've been working to try and support us, but we will work things out. I need you to be happy. You need to come home, you can come home. I just need you to be happy. And just seeing him break down on the phone like that, it's just like, oh, baby, I just want to give him a hug. I just want to give him a hug, and it hurts. It hurts to see him like that. But again, just unnecessary drama caused by outside forces trying to meddle in someone's relationship that they have no business being a part of. And I hate to see it happen, but we gotta wait to see what the last half of this episode has in store for us. So I believe that these two parts were under, I think it's like 31 minutes. I don't think I'm gonna have to do any editing of this for YouTube, but I think the last two parts go over the 40-minute limit, so I'll probably have to crop some stuff out of that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Part 2 should be out relatively soon ish. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so you'll be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. Love you guys.